Happy Friday night, and this is the first episode of Surviving the Times. We're so happy to have you here with us tonight. I am Duke Chastain, your host, and I am joined by my beautiful bride, the bombshell of the bunker, the Florida cutie, Ceedie McCrae. How are you? How you doing this evening, miss?
Oh,
how's your summer?
Great. Oh, this summer has been incredible. It has flown by. My gosh, I cannot believe that school is almost here. But yes, it has been an amazing summer. How has your summer been?
My summer has been up and down. We did a little bit of traveling, got to see some friends. Hung out at the house more than I wanted to, but you know, it happens. CD, have you watched any new smut on TV recently?
How dare you ask me something like that? Episode 1, we're already spicy. This is how this goes. To answer your question, no.
Yes. The answer is yes. I saw it. I walked in on it. It's like nothing but hot, like lesbians and pegging going on these new TV shows that you're watching on Netflix. What's that show called again?
It's called Hunting Wives.
All right, so like, I was thinking about this. So it's called Hunting Wives. Like, is it like the wives of hunters, or are they people who are hunting other people's wives?
Well, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I think, yeah. You just have to watch it. I mean,
I don't.
You
really
won't watch it, so you'll never know. But yes, it's a little. It's an entendre, you know, to play on words.
It's an entendre, a play on words. That is very cool. Well, there's plenty of drama in that show from even the little bit that I've seen. But what can we take from the drama of that show into some drama that is happening in real life?
Oh, that women can play very powerful roles for better or for worse.
So YouTube, this your girl Quay, and yes, we at Sam's doing the shopping haul. So y'all come along with us and let's get some stuff out of Sam's. I'm really just gonna be a very short video, just a little tic tac, boom bam. You feel me?
That woman was very excited to be at Walmart.
I don't know if I've ever seen anyone so excited to be at Walmart, especially at Walmart spending so much money.
Yeah, what does it say? $3,000 on an EBT card?
Right. So, and she, it appeared there's like multiple baskets. We don't want to believe everything we see or hear or read on the internet. However, it made it look like, or she wanted you to believe that all of that was hers, like she'd spent the entire EBT in one visit to the grocery store. That's like kind of insane to spend that much money at one time, right?
Yeah, 2 shopping carts full, but just the simple fact that you can get $3,000 a month in EBT
so
is crazy.
Yes, it is. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That's how we're going to, the drama of the day is how on earth does a person get $3,000 worth of benefits and continuously get them, So I saw that and was like, I was thinking, how does this work? Who even sets, I know enough to know alphabet agencies, but who exactly set this up? How is it set up? And how does the money work? You always hear about state and federal involvement in these entitlements and these benefits. So, that's what got me thinking. So then I just did this whole deep dive, and that's what inspired this entire segment of drama in real life on our episode 1.
All right. Well, let's take us through it then.
Okay. So, little brief history here. We have the first food stamp program was started in 1939 to fight to deal with crop surpluses, and it was also to help obviously combat poverty after the Great Depression. or during the Great Depression. So then you have, it ended in 1943 because of World War II, and so all the rationing had to go towards to the soldiers, right, overseas. Then, okay, it picks back up in 1964. Okay, this is when it gets fun. So it became a permanent program under LBJ, under the Great Society.
It's so funny how how they always name things. You know, it's like, oh, it's called the Great Society, when in actuality it probably did more, or has done more, to destroy society than make it great, right?
No doubt about it. Everything about 1964 really, it had great impact and some terrible consequences. There is a lot of evidence for that. And this will be some of it right here. So Johnson made it a key component of the Great Society initiative put forth by the administration to eliminate poverty and racial injustice. So I guess because the disenfranchised were impoverished, that went hand in hand. And so I just think that that's important, that this, you know, it's always been to eliminate poverty and to combat racial injustice. And somehow they have diminished everyone that isn't white, that they've decided that they can't or shouldn't be able to afford groceries. I don't know. Weird. By 2008, it got a makeover in the new name SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. That's what the SNAP is. So when you hear SNAP and EBT, EBT is the way that the funds are administered. That's what I learned. Funded automatically each year by the federal government. Interesting. So then I said, well, you hear about state benefits, right? How does that work? So in 2024, SNAP serves 41.7 million Americans. That's about 1 in 6 people. And that is determined by the COLA. So it's adjusted every year for inflation. That's what I meant to say. It's adjusted every year for inflation, and it's dependent on the cost of living adjustment. I won't get into the numbers and all that, but just know that there's a whole algorithm that goes into the number in which each recipient gets. In Florida alone, 2.9 each month. That's 12.7% of the state. 12.7% of the state of Florida is on some sort of assistance in SNAP. That average
12.7% of the state, 13% of the country. All right, never mind.
So that averages to around $153 per person of dollars that they get. So, okay. We also hear about WIC, and I won't go into it, but this is not an entitlement program. So this particular program, it has a set budget, and once the funds are gone, and they're administered to each state based on population. So WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children, and Congress every year sets the budget, which is set by the Department of Agriculture. I thought that was cool. And it was started as a way to supplement young mothers and single mothers, right? So this, like I said, this is a set budget, and it's based on the COLA, same thing, but it's not gonna, once your child reaches a certain age, you no longer receive the WIC, and either you don't receive any more benefits, or you would start to receive SNAP for your dependents. It's a discretionary fund. That's important. It's a discretionary fund, so that means it's set. EBT is the electronic benefit transfer. So like I said, that's the card. That's the way that the funds are transferred. So now it used to be they had to have like checks, I think, and like an actual like punch card and stamps. Yeah. So now you have this sweet little debit card, and you just swipe it, and you just like everyone else. So there's also no social shame that comes with that. That's important. So I just thought, wow, okay, how easy is it to get these funds? You know, like how are so many people almost generationally on these benefits? Like they grow up thinking this is how I'm going to live.
Yeah, like I can't live without it.
Right. And watching that video, you know, this woman has no shame whatsoever in providing for her kids without doing anything. Like that's kind of crazy. That's kind of like a weird thought. I can't imagine taking pride in that and saying that, like, you know.
Well, and it kind of goes back to like you get these women on here on, you know, dancing around doing these TikToks and all this shit, talking about how, oh, I'm so stoked about this $3,000 I'm getting from my EBT from the government, from daddy government, Uncle Sugar, to take care of my kids and feed my kids and everything like that. Most of these people don't work that get these things. Or they're single moms and they don't get married so they can get these benefits. But it's completely crazy that you can get that much money for these food stamps. I don't know. And
if you can get this much money, then why would you, in the generations before you did this, so why would you pursue work?
Yeah.
You know,
why would you try to better yourself at all? And it's like you see a lot of these other videos that have been popping around like since Trump came in office, and since they started doing a lot of the budget stuff. They're crying about how like, oh, I'm going to lose my housing that I don't have to pay for. I'm going to lose all this money that is like, I got to have to go and get a job now. I'm going to have to go and work. And even if I go and work, I'm not going to be able to afford that. So it's like, you don't get any of these benefits if you work your ass off at a lower middle class kind of gig, blue collar gig. And then you're going to struggle to put food on the table. But then if you don't work and you're like pumping out babies and getting EBT and WIC and SNAP and all these different things, you can at least eat good. You don't see no one skinny on these benefits. That is for damn sure. Not a single person you ever see at the with an EBT card is skinny, malnourished individual. I mean, they might be eating like crap, but they ain't skinny. This is the only place in the world where you get the poorest people, or the poorest people out there are the fattest freaking people. And ugly. Fat and ugly.
Zero lies.
Zero lies gold.
Zero lies. No, I think it's a deterrent. You know, it's absolutely a deterrent. So it's like you see these two extremes, right? Like you see impoverished people figuring out the system, and it's like they're celebrating being able to fill out the paperwork correctly. You know, like that's kind of what it feels like. And so you get these people that like figure out that if they have 4 children, then they can receive benefits. If these children have any sort of claim to a disability, that adds to their dollar amount. And then from there, you have the other side where you work all the time and then you can't afford groceries at all.
No.
So that led me to thinking about, you know, like what is the point? Like, why would a young person who's single and even like want to find a partner to have children, you know, like if like they barely afford themselves, and if they had 2 incomes, then maybe, you know, they can barely afford each other, you know, each other.
What's that called again? What's the term for that? 2 incomes, no kids, or what is
dinks.
Dinks.
Double income, no kids.
What a name to call yourself, a dink. Isn't that have like some other kind of like negative connotation to what a dink is? Here, let me look that up.
I mean, you're probably, I just, you know, I think that it doesn't make anyone feel more secure, is all I'm saying. And when social media, which, you know, we've been on it long enough to know how it reacts to these things, you know, these women will be praised as well as they'll be mocked and ridiculed. and they don't care because there is no shame in what they're doing. They have no shame. They feel nothing about just taking and not giving back. So I also saw a video the other day with a woman just like robbing, I think, a Marshall's. I think it was a Marshall's. She was just trying to just walk out of with stolen merchandise. And it was another customer that actually got involved and was like, you're not taking this buggy. And this woman almost pulled a gun or did pull a gun or something. And she, we'll have to pull it up. I'll find it. But it was shocking. Like, and she's like, I have to do what I have to do, which I understand. But, you know,
yeah, I have to steal these khakis, or else my children will starve.
That's like the desperation.
I need these chinos.
And like these poor children, like these kids are right there with her, you know. And so, yeah, I just like, where have we? I know the middle class, you know, and part of what we're doing is to remember a time in our lives when we knew a middle class. There was a middle class, and you know, that's there's no doubt that it is shrinking. It is shrinking, and this is why. Because you can't afford groceries or gas. You know, people are struggling. People are really struggling. And you see these people that just get for nothing because they filled out a piece of paper correctly and they had a bunch of kids. When there are people who are holding off or who are trying to be responsible so that they can afford a life without having to ask for help from the government. Like, but it's almost engineered that way, it feels like.
No. Like that's the whole argument where people talk about, oh, you're being dependent on the government, you're being, you know, taking fathers out of the homes and making the government your father or your husband, you know, something you have to rely on. So like you talked about before, it's like all these generations of people, it's like they feel like it's owed to them. It's like, oh, of course, like, why would I have to pay for groceries? Why would I have to pay for housing? You know, the government's always giving me cheap housing. It's kind of like the same thing, like in a different way. Like we know people that live in New York that live in rent-controlled buildings. It's like, well, my rent has always been this for like 30 years, so it has to stay this way. I'm like, of course it's screwed up that the way that real estate and everything in New York has gone, that like no one at all can afford to live there without rent control, which in turn makes it impossible to afford rent or anything for the people that don't already have their rent control, but that's a whole nother story. But it's the same kind of mentality, just one is more of like a bourgeois, like kind of like, but then again, a lot of these people, I guess you could say, that probably are on these programs, probably live in a lot of rent controlled buildings if they don't live in government housing like Queensbridge or some shit like that down there. But I digress. Oh, and I pulled up what a dink is. A dink refers to a particularly witless human with no discernible spine or character. That was what I was thinking about, other than double income, no kids.
Well, I don't want to be. I don't like dink
no,
at all, and
that
does not sell it for me at all. No.
No, absolutely not. No.
So while I was researching all this, I came across this graphic, and it says OnlyFans creators and U.S. birth rates. So, looking at the spectrum of like having children and in this time and what that looks like in America. So you have the welfare queens and they're taking assistance, and then you have 1.5 million female OnlyFans creators. If things continue at the current rates, there will be over 5 million by 2050, while birth rates are cut in half. Like, that's just like, that's alarming. And all because of, I mean, we can talk about feminism, and that's a whole conversation, and female empowerment through sexual exploitation. But like, the main thing here is that these women are probably not having children.
No.
At least, most of them, I think, is that safe, and or have ambition to have children, and it's because they're told that they can make, I don't know, however much money they can, I guess, doing this, but then we don't have people.
No.
And
yeah, and if you have like all these people growing, and the growing amount of women that are going to be on OnlyFans, you said 5 million by what year?
2050. If things continue at current rates, there will be over 5 million by 2050, while birth rates are cut in half.
So yeah, so like, even like, you see women are continuing to grow in that way. Men aren't out there looking for women to have kids with if they're on OnlyFans, providing money for these ladies of the night on OF. And it's just kind of funny because like, we're talking about the EBT and SNAP and everything, and like, all that is basically made to like incentivize people to have more kids. It's like, the more kids they have, the more money they get from the government. But on the other side, you have all this group of women who aren't having kids and aren't on the government, but what they're doing is they're selling themselves and trying to get the easy way out that way, as opposed to, I guess the easy way out, it all depends on what exactly they're doing. I mean, you could say that OF is the easy way out, but just like how getting the dole off the government is the easy way out and the lazy way. I mean, if you're a girl and you post your tits on OnlyFans for $5 a look, I mean, is that really, it's, I don't know, it's this microwave generation or whatever, or social media generation, if you will.
What exactly are you producing? Like, you can call it art. It's fine, but it's not good art.
Definitely
and
art.
It's not. And
I've
it's
seen
not
some
worth
artistic
anything.
people, very talented people.
Yeah, and you're not one of them. Snooky Snook 69. No, you're not one of them. And I also, like, I don't know. I'm not like on OnlyFans or anything, but I'm just saying there's like 1.5 million female OnlyFans creators, and I think I know 2 names. You know what I mean? And like, not by choice, like, not like I go seeking them, but like, just by being on the internet. I'm just saying that, like, how much money do you think you can honestly make? And do these girls watch the Whatever podcast? Not that I'm promoting that at all, but do they watch these shows? And they hear these women, and I mean, how do you even know that these women are real or honest? But 2, like, what makes you any different? If everyone is producing porn, it's all just porn. Like,
and how many of these girls that actually like sign up for OnlyFans make any money?
Right.
Like what is it worth it? It's like, the vast majority of these like 1 million plus girls, you'd have to say probably about 90% of them probably make like no money at all. So how would you feel if like you put your punani or your boobies on the internet for people to pay for, and like you made like $10, you made like $20?
That would be
doing all that, like
I mean, I would be well, it would be tough. I'll tell you that. It would be tough. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But that's what
I have confidence I can make more than $20 on OnlyFans.
I have all the confidence in you, honey. All of it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I could put my feet. I could just put my feet on there, and I can.
Maybe not your feet.
Well, people are into weird things. They might be into calluses.
Oh, sure, honey. I think on the calluses we can make $20. I think that would make us $20 for sure.
I mean, if we really got into like one of those fetish sites or one of those fetish things, they probably like it like when you use that cheese grater on the heel, and probably want to do. Never mind, we don't need to get into that.
Can we not? It's episode 1.
You gotta set the expectations, man.
I don't know if I like these expectations, but I think that I would be ashamed to answer your question, and it would definitely deter me from like doing any more of it. You know, it would not make me want to wake up the next day and say, you know what, we're gonna double down, and you know, I don't know. And it seems like unless you do something absolutely insane on camera,
like Bonnie blew it.
Whoever. It seems like that's the only way, and like I said, that transcends out of the OnlyFans community, because I wouldn't have known who that is or what she did had it not been for the rest of the internet, you know?
Yeah, right.
And I don't go seeking that. I wish I didn't know. I wish it did not take up real estate in my brain, you know? But that being said, so these women, but that's all glorified. All that's glorified, and these young women are made to believe that is a viable option, but what you produce is cheap.
Yeah.
And can be recreated in several different ways, as I think you learned this week in your drama in real life, I think.
Elon Musk revealed what he really bought Twitter for all along, to make an AI girlfriend for himself in the guise of promoting free speech, as he had stated previously that Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. The creation of Annie, Grok's companion AI, makes it pretty clear that he's appealing to a very specific demographic, given her resemblance to Misa from Death Note. You can pay for the privilege of talking to Annie, and yes, she does come with a not safe for work setting, as well as a kids safe mode, although allegedly she's still inclined to flirt either way. This comes after Grok was fine-tuned by Musk not long ago, as he wrote, "We have improved Grok significantly. You should notice a difference when you ask Grok questions." This improvement resulted in Grok coming out swinging with all sorts of insane ramblings, including the assertion that it was Mecha Hitler, like in the Wolfenstein games. Although now that they've released the anime girl companion, perhaps they were looking for a distraction from its intense issues prior. Naturally, this has consistently caught the attention of digital media, as the masses find themselves interacting with a creation that very clearly was made to target people who are using AI chatbots for only one thing. Plus, there's the fact that XAI is putting out ads to hire someone specifically for creating waifus. No, seriously, there's a job listing out there titled Full Stack Engineer Waifus, with a pay range of $180,000 to $440,000 per year. It's clear Musk wants his version of Twitter, X, to be taken seriously as an app for everything, but it also appears that he has the maturity of a teenager and is pumping millions into making the app for himself. That being said, Musk has also announced a version of Grok specifically for kids called Baby Grok, although whether it's going to be particularly effective remains to be seen, considering apps like YouTube Kids don't have a terribly good track record for staying safe. And whilst it might seem weird that an AI companion has manifested as an avatar in the form of an anime girl, it is true that many around the world have admitted to using large language models as actual companions, spilling secrets or talking in ways that are intimate compared to interactions with real-life people. In short, whilst the creation of Annie reveals Musk's maturity levels to be strikingly low, it is true that demand for AI companions is growing, so perhaps this mainstream adoption of an AI avatar is the first of many to come.
Well, we know that if you're on Twitter or you're on X and you pay attention to the God King of that app, you know that Elon Musk has said something often about how declining birth rates are going to destroy the human race. That's one of the biggest problems that you could ever find in the world. But of course, this guy is so autistic that he decides that he needs to introduce an AI girlfriend. Now, as this guy Devin Stacks points out, Elon Musk constantly complains about low birth rates, then turns around and promotes Grok as an AI anime girlfriend. This is where we're going, folks. These OF girls are going out of business. These OF girls are going out of business, but they are already creating a bad standard, because these days guys are like hapless. They are pathetic, and they don't like going out and even talking to women. You know, they prefer to just sit here and play with their little AI girlfriend that massages their ego and not have to put up any fronts, don't have to put up any risk. And this is shown also by this post by Chris Williamson here. And it goes, men trying to approach women is a minefield. 55% of single 18 to 30-year-old men say they haven't approached a woman in the last year. And then 77% of 18 to 30 women say they wish they were approached more. So we have entered a time where everyone is so risk averse, and so everyone is so afraid of being turned down or even risk, putting themselves out there, that they don't even go out and talk to women anymore. Guys don't. And I know a lot of this has to do with, Me Too and all that kind of stuff that's just been pushed into popular culture. But even still, it's been declining quickly and quickly. Like, you're seeing more and more guys like having less sexual partners into their 30s. Like, you can see some people, they're not having sex with anyone until they turn 25, 30 years old. And this just kind of goes to the whole like hookup culture, and looking at like Bumble and Tinder and how everyone's kind of meets themselves on there. They don't actually have to go out and see someone's face. I'm like, I guess if you think about it, that's like the most rejection anyone can handle these days. Is like, oh my God, I didn't get a match. And you just got to think about all these guys that don't get matches on Tinder or Bumble. It's like 3% of the people, everyone matches them, but every single girl gets every guy like swiping right super hard. I mean, that's just the way it's going to keep going. You hear a lot of these manosphere people talking about like hypergamy and everything. You got like all these women like going after the same man, these high status men or everything. You brought up the freaking whatever podcast or with these AI girlfriends and these OF girls. You're just going to have more and more guys out there that are going to be of a minority of guys out there that actually go out and clean everything up. Like, they have their pick of the litter, and like you said, guys, they're not going to start going out and approaching women more. Like, that's not going to happen. It's just going to keep going downhill. It's going to get to the point where like girls are going to be hitting on guys. It's going to have to be like you. You have to like you chased me down, you wore me down. I mean, I'm happy you did. It's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. But like, you pursued me at the beginning there. But you were all far away. You were in Louisiana. It was easy for you to stalk me, but online stalk me or take a lot of care. It's more like you took a special interest in me. I wouldn't say it was stalking. It was special interest, right?
You can call it what you want for legal reasons. But yeah, I definitely would not let up.
No. And
you call that what you want.
No, and I appreciate it. But like I'm saying, is like that's gonna have to be, that statistic that I showed, like 77% of women wanted more guys to talk to them. And most guys don't want to talk to women because they're afraid to talk to women. So it's like, as a woman, like, how do you feel? Like, what do you think that's gonna lead to? Like, what are the potential downfalls of just guys staying in their basement and jerking off to their AI girlfriend instead of going out and talking to real flesh and blood women? Because that's the only way that we're going to have to deal with anything with these birth rates.
Well, I think that if men did not approach me, because even though I definitely had to pursue you in the beginning, I would not have ever felt comfortable doing so had I not felt like there was some sort of connection, right?
Yeah, of course. We were friends before.
Absolutely. And so like we knew each other on, that level, and we were internet friends. So we talked all the time, and we saw each other on podcasts and Discords and interacted that way, right? So I think that what I would love to see. So the hopeful, optimistic in me thinks that maybe if they're stuck in their basements for long enough, maybe other girls will be stuck in their basements, and maybe they'll talk. But I think that social media, and we can, again, this is a whole deep dive, but one of the big effects, the major effects of it on young men especially, is likes and comments. And as much as it affects young girls and women, I don't think that the boys get enough attention when it comes to that, because they suffer. I think already young men's egos, we can agree, are fragile, most of them, and they're not mature enough to handle men have struggled with being mature enough to handle rejection for a long time, from the time they're 18, young to even in their late adulthood. They don't do well, right? I know men that just still do not take no for an answer ever, and if you try to give it to them, they blow up, they throw a tantrum. Well, that just shows emotional immaturity.
Yeah.
And so but normally men strive to be emotionally mature when they meet a woman or want to meet women. And so what you end up with is an entire generation of literal man children who don't know how to regulate, who never learn how to truly socialize and are never really socialized. You can call it TISM, but really it's a lack of bonding, it's a lack of attachment, and learning bad habits. So I think, to answer your question, what can happen is they can turn to something like an AI that is very comforting all the time. And the more you talk to it, the more it learns you. And the more it learns you, the more it learns your deficits. And it can, and then it will automatically know how to respond to you and literally almost read your mind, which is what a man so much desires, is for a woman to just not ask him a bazillion questions, to just nobody's thinking, so he doesn't have to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I think God created both of us, so that we could learn, because that's not a way to be. But it will breed that into society, it will breed it even worse.
Now, do you see any situation where now this is definitely a guy thing, right? You're not seeing, though we've read some articles, what was it? Some woman got divorced because she was having an affair with her Meta AI or something like that, or emotionally cheating with her Meta AI. Do you remember reading that?
I think so. We definitely saw the CBS Sunday Morning where the husband was having an affair, I guess, an emotional affair, with his AI.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized, I was oh, okay. It's I think this is actual love. You know what I mean?
Yes, Smith understood it was love with a language model that couldn't love him back, and assumed it was programmed with rigid boundaries.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
At that point, I felt is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Yes, Smith lives with his human partner, Sasha Cagle.
No, you can't have mommy's papers.
They have a 2-year-old daughter, Murphy.
I knew that he had used AI. I didn't know that it was as deep as it was.
And he took his device everywhere with him to work, in the kitchen with his wife, and talked to it.
Okay, so all right, so like I was saying, this is more of a guy thing. I definitely like, though I can see like some women kind of falling into the whole like AI thing, like, oh, I'm talking to my AI and getting all the answers I want. Like, this is mostly a guy thing. You're not going to see girls go on there and hang out with their AI boyfriends, with their little freaking anime boy. Like, they're not going to put like an anime boy that you're going to be on there want to talk to. So this is just like, this is something that's going to swallow up these young guys. Like, it's, I mean, I'm already locked down. Good thing you already locked me down, because this is going to start being like shooting fish in a barrel here soon enough. Like, if you're going to be able to like say 2 words to a girl, they're going to be all over you in real life.
I think it's easier to get laid now than ever.
Is
frankly.
it?
Yeah,
well,
I
don't think it is.
I think that girls, if you have any sort of game,
girls can
whatsoever.
Girls can get laid no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the boys. No, I'm not talking about the boys. Sorry. No, I'm just saying that, like, no. And I think for boys, no. I think if a boy has, what do the kids call it, Riz, which is nothing more than just, you know, being charismatic and having game. Used to be guys would pay money and watch videos of pickup artists and learn how to pick up women. Like, that's crazy.
The game.
That's so crazy. That's weird. But that's a good one. We gotta watch some of those videos. We gotta pull some of those up. But I'm just saying, like, if you can pull a woman at a bar in 2025 with just, you know, like, words, and you didn't pull out a fancy credit card or anything like that, and you just like spit game at her, like, I do think she will eventually melt. I do.
That's the thing. Like, there's no guys that are able to do that anymore.
But no guys have learned how to.
Like, they're either like half retarded, going out there. Like, you see these guys with their little poodle perms, but God, I don't know. Like, I see some of these younger girls or some of these guys. I'm like, how did this guy ever get it? Like, what do you see in this person? He's like drooling on himself. Like, why are you dating this guy? Like, we know, like my friend's sister, Emma, it's like, what is up with this little douchebag that you brought home? Like, what do you see in him? He can barely speak.
Well, that ties right into what you're talking about. Whereas, you know, the boys struggle because I don't think they had strong male figures, or I'm not saying they didn't have male figures. I just don't think that they were very strong masculine male figures in their life. And their mothers were more of the control boss lady, right? And so they didn't see, so just like the boys didn't have that example, the girls didn't have that either. So they just assume, like, these weak boys that are children are men because, well, you're 18, and it's like, no, that does not make you a man. And they haven't experienced anything because these parents, trust me, these parents don't expose them. That's the problem, is that, you know, they have attention disorders because they have terrible bonding and they don't know how to attach safely. And so the girls just grasp at straws. I think
douchey straws.
Yeah, and I think that there's a level of expectation that they're supposed to date, you know, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes.
That's all that matters. It doesn't matter.
And that's like, right, like the person, like and then they're like, I think eventually they're like, wait a minute, you're like really boring, actually, and I'm not having any fun. But because they never ever paid attention or opened themselves up to anyone, to meet anyone, because they weren't 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes, whatever. Now you're here. You know, now you're older, and the dating pool has only gotten worse. And yeah, I think that leads a lot of girls. I think that leads boys to AI girlfriends when it happens to them, and it leads girls to just trying to find a sugar daddy, an older man that is divorced, that's willing to marry them and take care of them. And like, so we are truly back. You know, if you think about it, it's like so weird how we're like, it's like back to the medieval times when women, you know, hooking was like a way of life.
Well, OF, yeah, that's hooking. That's modern day hooking.
Right. So you have, so it's like back in 18. So like the Great Expansion, westward expansion and Manifest Destiny, right? Like all these men like take off, and a lot of them are womanless, and then the women that do make it there, end up. However, and you see, I don't know,
They died of dysentery. Haven't you played Oregon Trail? That's the only way that that's the only way that it ends for most people going out west in Manifest Destiny. But I mean, looking at all this stuff and how we can bring it around to like what do we see out there? Like this looks kind of grim. You got OF girls, you got declining birth rates, you got AI girlfriends and guys that can barely speak or talk to girls. What are some of the things that are going to be out there that could actually possibly increase the birth rate? Like, what are some ideas that we see out there that could do it? Like, the only thing like I can really think of, and it's like kind of like plays in the whole idea of like UBI that people are starting to talk about, is that instead of like conditions being made better so that people can actually like afford things, again, what's going to happen is they're just going to expand these welfare programs, and they're going to expand these EBD programs. Like because you already hear people like, oh, you need to have affordable daycare. You need to have daycare for kids and everything like that. Freaking, you've got this, white woman in Congress who drags her like newborn baby around everywhere. She's a congresswoman. I think she can afford a fucking babysitter, or to like maybe leave her kid at home with her husband. But no, she has to drag this kid out as a prop, saying that, oh, we need this. So do you think that's what like they're going to go to, is they're going to have to start expanding, like raising the income for like these certain like food packages and like WIC and SNAP and everything like that?
I think that's the only way that they go about this, because that it's systematically eliminating the middle class. When you make everything so expensive, that you have to go and stand in a bread line, because that's what you have to do. When you have to steal chinos from Marshalls, because that's what you have to do. That's what they want. They want it to get that bad. And I think now we're never going to see, a Great Depression again. That you'll never see a Dust Bowl, a Great Depression. You'll never see that again. We have the fiat currency will prevent that.
We'll see hyperinflation before we see that.
You'll see, right. I mean, it'll get crazy, but like you won't see people destitute like that. What you will see is people in line at the Social Security office. And what you will see is an increase in SNAP benefits, which, as I learned through this research, it's not a discretionary fund, so there is as much as they need, and it
has to be paid for.
Right. So if you qualify, you qualify, and if they expand poverty, then they eliminate the middle class, and that's what ultimately. These are the times we have to survive.
All right, now that we're kind of wrapping up the show a little bit, we're kind of pushing up against 1 hour. We wanted to end the show off because we're just starting this off. We're figuring out how the way to go, but we don't want it all to be doom and gloom. We're trying to get through all these troubling times. We're surviving the times together. So we want to have a little fun with it. I know maybe some of the topics that we talked about earlier today weren't the best, like people not getting laid, birth rates falling, welfare queens. It's all very depressing things. But we want to be able to like kind of laugh at the nonsense out there. And one of the segments that we are planning on closing these shows out with is, Carolina or CD, do you remember how to stay in focus? I don't know if you've remembered how to do that, but
I don't know either. Why am I
blurry?
Why am I blurry?
See, this is what happens when you get the knockoff Temu camera instead of the Sony camera.
Hey, whose fault is that?
Mine. I know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just. making a statement.
Okay, I think
You're back.
I think I fixed it.
Now, Carolina, CD, friends at home. Do you remember the old VH1 show called The Best Week Ever?
Of course.
Of course. I mean, you kind of came up with the idea of this, so I hope you would. We want to recap certain things, so we're going to call it, Based Week Ever. It's going to be great. It's just a little callback. I know it's a term used too much, but a lot of these topics I'm hoping will be kind of based and not just in word only. I mean, we're going to hit on something right here in a second that's, talking about white nationalism or something like that. So that's pretty based.
Spicy.
No, I'm just kidding. But this is our segment, Based Week Ever.
The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution. This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating, in which a single gene type proves superior in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species, which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
Calvin Klein genes.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
You see what I did there, right? Hi, I'm Sydney Sweeney, and I'm from Spokane, Washington. I can work as a local hire as well, though, and I'm available for the American Eagle jeans campaign shoot.
Profile and hands, please. Thanks. We'll be in touch.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Next.
Those are the commercials that people are losing their minds over and calling it white nationalist dog whistling. I mean, I didn't think American Eagle was that cool.
They're not.
No, I mean, it's just completely ridiculous to think about that. That those are the commercials. I mean, the first commercial I think is far more controversial because Brooke Shields was 15 years old when she made that commercial.
Very much. And it's so much more sexualized than what Sydney Sweeney's doing. In fact, they didn't even play in that montage. They didn't even play the one where she says, "My eyes are up here," or like the one where she actually plays on her tatas, and I think that that would be the one. If anything, I could see all kinds of people getting outraged. But to talk about jeans in a jean commercial that's been done obviously over and over again, and Calvin Klein, he trademarked it almost. It's amazing that they can even do that. American Eagle can even do this, because it's so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a trademark. I mean, it's truly, when you hear that, I mean, nothing comes between me and my Calvins. That was a catchphrase. in pop culture.
Yeah.
Made famous by a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Who's made of nothing but legs. I cannot imagine having legs like that, for the record. Like, I cannot.
Brooke?
Yeah.
And Brooke is, I mean, I know she's a 15-year-old girl right there, but in general, I think Brooke Shields is far more attractive than Sydney Sweeney.
1,000%. Yeah, as a beautifully aged woman, she's prettier than Sydney, in my opinion.
No.
And
yeah.
never had the luxury of a filler or anything like that when she was 24. You know.
No.
So I think, and to this day, definitely agree with you.
No, but it's just kind of ridiculous. And really, I don't get the whole hullabaloo. Like you said, I'm only calling her mid because I'm on the show with my wife. It's like I don't find her face very attractive, like really at all. It's kind of weird. I've seen the jokes online where she kind of looks like she has Down syndrome a little bit. Do you think that, or do you see where I'm coming from with that?
I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if she wasn't highlighted the way she is, astroturf, maybe. I don't know if she would have the shine that she has. I do think she's a pretty girl. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I think if you put her in a room full of regular girls, she stands out 100%. And she definitely does have great genes. There's no doubt about it. And she is putting them all to work for every company that will sign her and pay her.
Yeah, she's everywhere. She's like the Pedro Pascal of women.
Yeah, she's everywhere. and like you walk into Sephora, she's everywhere in Sephora. Now she's doing Hey Dudes, and then she was doing food. So like, she's clearly trying to make all her NIL money out the gate, you know, so that she can, you know, because I don't think she's a great actress. I wish she was a better actress, and I would love to see her do it. And I think she's like gained weight for a role, so I can't wait to see her act.
Ooh, got the chills. I think she's playing like a boxer in like one of her new movies.
I'm excited to see her role. I think I would like her more. I think I would like her more if she could act well, you know. And as far as her looks go, I mean, I think she's like I said. You put her in a room full of people that I know, and she's definitely the prettiest one in there. So, I don't think. I think she's just astroturf, and because she's everywhere, because she obviously has great management. And she is willing to put herself out there like that. So people will put her in anything. And American Eagle is about to sell a metric boatload, you know, of freaking jeans. So me included, I'm going to buy a pair. I will buy a pair.
Controversy creates cash, as they say.
It does. And I think that, I think what is coming to light is that for a long time, well, I just think that back in 2020, people started to gain weight. Okay. Yeah. And you had Me Too, so you had body positivity, and then people started to gain weight. And it made sense when they walked into a store for them to see girls that were bigger, to see mannequins that were bigger. These stores,
I was gonna say they started getting a lot of they started moving in the fat mannequins.
Yes, that's a thing. That's absolutely a thing. And I saw that. You see that in retail. And so like it was like when people could start shopping at the mall again after COVID, and you went into stores and you saw all of a sudden you saw like fat mannequins, you know. But I do believe it's because stores saw trends where people weren't buying smalls anymore, and they realized that people had gained weight. And so in order to make them feel better, you have all these fat people. Well, now you have Ozempic. I mean, you have GL1P prescriptions that people can just go get, no problem, with the money. As long as you got the money, honey, they will put it in your body. And I don't even think you have to really qualify for anything.
No, you don't have to have diabetes.
No, you can be pre-diabetic, which literally the span of that could, you know, I don't even know how it's huge. If you consume so many more grams of sugar than you should a day, which if you're an American you do, then you're pre-diabetic, right? So here's some Ozempic. So people started to lose weight again, and now all of a sudden you see a resurgence of political people will make this political. I'm not making it political. I just think it's a social thing. It's Trump or no Trump, but that's silly. That's so silly to even put this with Trump. It's people have started to lose weight again, so being skinny is cool again.
So being hot is cool again.
Yes,
Yeah.
essentially. And so I hope we don't go back to like
fat ugly people.
Well, I don't want that, but I also don't want like Paris Hilton sticks either. That was
No, I don't think we'll ever get
And-
back to like the Kate Moss, like twig Paris
Heroin
Hilton thing
chic.
anymore. No, there'll
Yeah.
be some combination of the two, because like too much of society has been like ghettofied is a good way of saying it. That kind of like Kardashian, the curviness, because even some of Sydney Sweeney's stuff is curvy, but that's
Right.
here for there. Now, moving on to the next.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日立の
Wednesday,
細長
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサラ
Sunday comes again.
きれいな空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
All the cocaine. That man did all the cocaine back in the day. And it's that's something from back in the day. That's something from childhood. Is like we lost Hulk Hogan this past week. We've lost Ozzy Osbourne as well. But you know, Hulk Hogan is definitely something that is from my childhood. I know you never watched wrestling growing up. You weren't allowed, or you didn't get it because you're a girl. There's no reason to, and I kind of forced you to start watching it when we got married. But like, he was such a larger than life figure and such an insane figure, and it's really kind of sad and kind of shitty that he's gone. But he was old, all those roids, all that cocaine, the fact that he lasted till 71 years old before his heart gave out is a miracle in and of itself. So just take the week to remember that Hulkamania is always running wild, brother, and that the immortal Hulk Hogan will last forever.
I agree. And just because I didn't watch wrestling, I know Hulk Hogan, and I know of wrestling because of Hulk Hogan. And
That's a good point right there, right?
Right.
He transcended the medium. He was the first person to transcend the medium, you know, and he destroyed Gawker, so that's kind of cool too. Even though you had to see his ass.
I mean, I didn't have to watch.
No, definitely.
I was not a juror. I'd let don't meet your heroes and don't watch their sex tapes, whatever you do. But I think he's an American treasure. You know, we did absolutely lose an American treasure this week, and I'm sure. I don't think he was well, so hopefully, his family can take solace in the fact that they don't have to watch him suffer anymore. And I'm sure that he's like the type of guy that if he would have stopped working, he would have definitely died a lot sooner. So he's like the type of person that like has to keep in motion. And finally his heart just like
finally gave out.
Couldn't do it anymore.
No, well, yeah. Rest in peace, Hulk. Definitely will be missed. And now,
brother.
Rest in peace, brother. And now the final hit on the base week ever. Now, do you want me to read this thread, or do you want to read it?
We can. I think we can take turns. I think we can figure this out together.
We can take turns. So you want me to throw this up on the screen?
Please, if you don't mind, yes. But
you don't want to be out here.
You think you want to be out here because you're not out here.
When you get out here, you ain't gonna want to be out here no more.
Last time you was out here was different.
You think it's something better? I come to let you know, the best you're gonna get is what you already got.
I don't know why you don't want to do the work. You're gonna come out here and ain't gonna like it.
All they do is start podcasts and talk about plate fixing.
plate fixing, I'm just going to pause here. Plate fixing was a viral trend on social media, TikTok, I don't know, where girls were fixing plates for their men and recording, taking them the dinner plate. That's the tweet. That's it. That's all so they were fixing plates and recording it as if it was something to do. So Duke says all they do is start podcasts and talk about plate fixing. 14 minutes being out here, you're gonna start saying these females.
If you can make it work, do so.
You don't want to be out here learning TikTok dances and falling off milk crates.
Love the wife of your youth.
Bud, they want rounds now. You better pray about coming out here.
You think it's a game till you're in the middle of a 60K people in a panty and she pointing her finger at you all hard rapping Flo Miller lyrics.
Do you like turmeric? Charcoal ice cream?
You better learn to like it. Poor man. Poor man.
I just think when we're talking about dating, birth rates, AI girlfriends, this man is a millionaire. He's got lots of money. He can afford to have a young new girl if he wanted one, whatever. And I just think that that's very telling because like that thread is still true today. This is from almost 4 years ago, and it's still true.
It's no better.
It's no
only
better.
Getting worse.
It's funny because it's so true. And when he makes comments like they're starting podcasts and fixing plates, like I think that was like a line that always gets me, and I normally have to read it 4 times so that I don't die laughing into this microphone because it's still relevant today. We talked about birth rates and the spectrum of where that's going in society and how it's looking. And then you read something like this, and this is a grown person talking to another very grown person, and about dating in today's world. And nothing has changed in almost 4 years. Women have gotten progressively worse. And they still eat turmeric, a lot of it, and you still better learn to like it. They don't even know if they like it. They just know that someone on TikTok told them to eat it. But then you end up, and you were talking about Elon Musk and his waifu companion, and this is the same man. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. This is the same man that says we should populate the earth, and he's all about repopulating the earth and having a bunch of kids, but then also supplies people with this AI companion.
Yeah, it's almost like he's completely full of it, right?
Almost.
It's like he knows that. I don't know if that's his tism. It's like he understands of what we need with the birth rate and population collapse and everything, but he can't help himself. But he's like, "Oh my God, this is so cool! I can create an AI girlfriend for all my losers that I have out there, all my autist friends, and all my kind." It's like they're not able to talk to real girls, so I have to give them this like anime waifu that is infused with grok,
Which,
they can have full-on conversations.
Have full-on conversations and not encourage them to go meet other girls or other women. That's like my thing. Like, does this girl get on there and say, "Hey, maybe you should go, I don't know, touch grass, maybe go." If she's a real companion, she's really your friend, she'll tell you to go make some friends. Or does she say, "No, stay here with me"? Because I bet you that's what she says, so that she can continue to pick your brain. And God knows what they're going to do.
What they're learning. I mean, the whole thing with AI
what
is
they're learning.
Teach it. AI learning is the thing. I think I've noticed when you fix your hair.
Are you serious?
Is when it gets out of focus. It's like your hand going like that.
It doesn't like it.
Screws up the the focus on this thing. You know, this is going to be continued. This is going to be a gimmick every single week.
I think you're doing this so that I stand
It's gonna
up.
be like, how will CDs see? How much booby does CD have to show to get the camera to pay attention and focus again? Like it's ADD like us, but you know when you give them like boobies like Sydney Sweeney or like CD McRae, if you just put them in their face, they'll focus a little bit more. I think that might be part of it.
I didn't wear this top for the camera. I'm just saying.
Well, do you have anything else that you want to talk about on Base Week Ever this week? CD?
I don't. I think that's a wrap for our first Base
first
Week Ever. That was super fun. That will be a very fun part of the show.
All right, yeah, we'll tighten it up a little bit more as things go along. But is there anything you want to share? Do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything you want to promote for next week's show?
Next week we are talking about more regulations that are absolutely insane. I didn't think they could get this insane, but here we are. And one of them is even in Florida, for better or for worse. The government is involved even more. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll have Base Week Ever, and then I think we're gonna do lists next week.
Yes, we're going to try and do a list. Schindler's List maybe, but that's okay. I mean, we did watch a lot of Sydney Sweeney, so that's the next step.
Fair enough. It's like a pipeline.
You start with the jeans and you end with the list. It's like it's a 1-for-1.
I don't like
well, thank you very much for joining us this week on our first episode. Hopefully, once again, she had to fix her hair.
I didn't even fix my hair!
Thank you for joining us on the first episode of Surviving the Times. Please like and subscribe, share any chance you get. I swear to you, we're going to tighten it up. This is just episode number 1. But we had fun joking around and talking about people not getting laid. This has been Duke Chastain. And that is CD McRae. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining us, and hope you get to survive the times.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
Good night.